taken beautifully.
Tino's wonderful. He's come on.
Florence using possession of that memory. Oh, and so finished a beautiful offload.
Baie welkom aan die kykers wat by ons inskakel vir hierdie wedstryd tussen Paarl Boys High en die manne van die Leeu's Presidentsie 15-tal. Ons saai van Johannesburg af uit die St. John's Paasfees rugby toernooi. With me in the commentary is Sifiso Nyao. Welcome to this brilliant game that's going to take place in this Easter festival.
Yes, of course. We do look forward to an incredible game of rugby here with, of course, Paarl Boys High. Quite the superior side in past festivals, so it should be interesting how they really take up this first game. Of course, we do see many teams really taking a long time to shift into gear at times, but we all know Paarl Boys, they always get things going very quickly.
That's definitely right. Paarl Boys High, die manne wat hierdie bal mooi versprei, die seuns wat daar met die bal ingaan, hulle het hom mooi daar beskikbaar gestel, die skramskakel met die bal uitgee, dis die skramskakel van Paarl Boys High, Jan van der Sant. Hy gaan weer skoonmaak daar, die manne van Boys High wat die bal daar wil uit hê. Maar die skeieregter wat sê, dis 'n strafskop vir die manne van die Leeu's Presidential span wat dan onkant was. Maar die skramskakel Jan van der Sant wat baie mooi en vinnig skoonmaak. Ons het wel gesien dat die center Tyler Becks of Box op die stadium 'n groot foutjie gemaak het daar en amper die bal verloor het, maar reggemaak deur die losskakel Kian Meeden. En die bal wat dan uitgeskop word deur Kian Meeden hier op die kwartlyn en dit is die manne van Paarl Boys High wat vroeg op die aanval is.
And of course, it is now put into the line out by Paarl Boys High, so it should be an interesting one to see what option they really take. Perhaps running it up through their big back line, because we do see some big boys there lining up ready to take on the Lions. And of course, it is a great take there by Paarl Boys High, who really shifted to gear really quickly, really revving that engine room up quickly as they quickly move into that 22-meter area of the Lions Presidential 15. And it does look like it's not really too much of a battle for the boys from all the way from Paarl at the moment, and it's interesting as they really surge forward and really look to build. And it does look like it is Paarl Boys High who do take it up once more. And of course, they are tackled just short once more, but they look to feed it very quickly as it's played really quickly out wide. But unfortunately, the ball is bundled out to touch.
Die manne van Paarl Boys wat die bal mooi lig gee daarso Sifiso, maar jy kan sien dat die pak voorspelers, the boys from Paarl Boys High, are really also a bunch of big boys, and they went straight into that maul and they took it forward almost halfway up in the quarter of the Lions Presidential side. But I must say, the handling of the guys are actually very good, and I would love to see the ball go around. That's what a festival is all about.
And yes, of course, we were just speaking just the game before about the great thing about schoolboy rugby and the running mentality that we all love to see. So it should be interesting as well to see the boys of Paarl, of course, running it through with, of course, their big boys able to brush off a few men. And of course, it is a lineup set up by the Presidential 15 who have cleared their lines for, of course, a Paarl Boys High line-out on the 22-meter area.
James Randall wat die bal daar aan die oorkant uitgeskop het, en dit is Alistair Williams van Paarl Boys High wat regmaak om die bal in die lyn staan daar in te sit. En dit is die manne op die stadion wat daar weer eens vorentoe beweeg. Paarl Boys High wat in die kwartgebied van die manne van die Leeu's is. Baie goeie verdediging daar deur die manne van die Leeu's, maar die Paarl Boys High het reeds alweer die bal bemeester en hulle is besig om weer vorentoe te beweeg. Daai bal het bietjie stadig uitkom daar, dis stadige besit daar vir die manne van Paarl Boys High, maar hulle het weer eens die bal daar en hulle duik daaroor. Dit is die nommer 8 van Paarl Boys High, Gideon van Wyk wat daar mooi oor gaan. Skitterende beweging, goeie opbou. The guys did brilliantly up until the try line when they went over the whitewash. Sifiso, this is really a bunch of big boys that the Lions are facing today.
Yes, of course, Paarl Boys High, of course, they've got a great history here, always winning all their games and never really losing. But of course, it is their chance as well to really test out their boys ahead of a tough bruising season against some big opposition like the likes of Paul Rus and the likes of Grey College. And of course, the Paarl Boys right now have really proved their intention quite early to really make a statement of what they're about in this festival.
Paarl Boys het al reeds ook in die Noordsuid toernooi in die vakansie gespeel, Sifiso, waar hulle teen help mekaar gelyk op gespeel het, waar help mekaar 'n briljante wedstryd gespeel het. En die manne, die seuns wat daar die bal oorskop, dit is die loskakel Kian Meeden wat daar die bal oorgeskop het. En die telling is dan nou 7-0 in die guns van Paarl Boys High. En ons gaan met die afskop hier begin. Dit lyk vir my soos op die kyk weer kan ons net daar sien, die bal wat uitgegee word, die speler wat daar oorduik, bal wat kort geskop is daar, en die bal wat aangeslaan word daar, deur Paarl Boys High, sal nou weer die nommer daar vir kry, maar Paarl Boys High, dit lyk soos die hakker wat die bal aangeslaan het, Alistair Williams, die skram is in die guns van die Leeu's presidensiële 15-tal, en dit is die skramskakel daar, Tinashe Gowere wat die bal gaan ingooi, in die middel van die veld, so net aan die kant die 10-tree stippellyn van die Paarl Boys High span. Interessante opstelling van die Leeu span, Sifiso.
And of course it is. Tinashe, who does look to feed it out. He feeds it out to James Randall for the Lions, and it's unfortunately fumbled. And it is Paarl Boys High in possession of the ball again. Unfortunately, it does look as if he's knocked it on a bit, but it does look like the ref has opted to say that it went backwards. And it's Paarl Boys High on the surge once more, really cruising up the field through Jacques Rousseau, who's unfortunately tackled just over the 50-meter line. But it is Paarl Boys High still in full control as they look to play it out wide.
Dis baie interessant hoe die seuns, die voorspelers en die agterspelers met ongelooflike vaardighede die bal heen en weer gooi, Sifiso, en jy kan sien dat die span van Paarl Boys High, wat daar, Wian van der Sand, wat die bal daar teen een van die spelers van die Leeu's vastgooi, hy is in 'n onkant posisie in 'n strafskop, en dit is die loskakel Kian Meeden wat dadelik aandui dat hy gaan na die paal toe aanlê om te kyk of hy die voorsprong kan rek na 7-0 toe. Dis regtig waar op die stadium mooi rugby van die manne van Paarl Boys High af. Hulle gooi die bal lekker rond. Sifiso, I must say that the technique from the guys in different positions, the props, the passing, the tackling methods has increased and have been intense practice by all the teams, and you can see that the skills are up to the next level in all the teams that are playing at this festival.
No, it's beautiful to watch. You really can see the level of South African schoolboy rugby is at a magnificent level at the moment. I think it's probably amongst the top in the world, in fact, especially when you look at sides like Paarl Boys, who do go on to compete in big tournaments that involve the best schools around the world, and they can manage to actually win those such tournaments. So it will be interesting to see how they really fare this season.
Kian Meeden tref die bal, hy's tussen die paale deur. Die telling vir Paarl Boys High groei aan na 10-0 toe. Die telling is dan nou 10-0 in die guns van Paarl Boys High met daardie doelskop of daardie strafskop wat dan oorgeskop word. En dit is die manne van die Leeu's wat sal moet terugveg. Die span van die Leeu's is regtig waar op die stadium 'n klomp seuns wat bymekaar gesit het en wat gesê het julle moet saam rugby speel en hulle doen dit na die beste van hulle vermoë. Die bal wat diep afgeskop word daar. Paarl Boys hulle die bal so 'n bietjie rondop en dit is Wian van der Sand wat die bal daar kry. Hy gee hom daar. Dit lyk vir my na die heel agter Jacques Rousseau. En Jacques Rousseau skop die bal uit. Die bal word vinnig ingegooi deur die Leeu's 15-tal. Die Leeu's wat nou besluit om hierdie wedstryd vinniger te maak. Die bal is uit. Gowere wat die bal aangee daar en 'n slim skop hier na die oorkant toe, maar die bal spring reg vir Jacques Rousseau. Hy gee die bal na die binnekant toe en Paarl Boys High besluit dit is nou tyd om met hierdie bal te hardloop. Hulle beveilig die bal. Dis die skramskakel Wian van der Sand met 'n bokskoppie wat hom hier mooi terugsit. Maar Gowere gee glad die kans dat hierdie manne van Paarl Boys High stil staan nie. Dis die heel agter Sinetando Tsonsi wat mooi deurkom daar. Gowere wat die bal uitgee daar na die 8ste man. Ruan Labuschagne wat geduik word daar. En die Leeu's is besig om regtig waar hierdie spel baie vinnig te maak. Bal is uit daar na Albert Skutte wat dan deur die agterlyn afgaan, maar dit is al Alistair Williams met 'n goeie duikslag daar in die middelveld. Boys High skop die bal deur. Sifiso, again, the guys are playing the best rugby that they can.
And it's really, you see the Lions really trying really to really step up to that contest. But Paarl Boys at the moment do look far too superior. So it will be an interesting battle to see how the Lions eventually cope with this one. And it is, of course, Paarl Boys choose to take the ball quickly. And it's taken really quickly up. And it is a ruck form quickly. But it is played out wide. And it does look as if Paarl Boys have bundled over once more.
Het lyk soos een van die voorspellers wat daar op staan. Ek sal nou seker maak van die nommer. Dit kan een van die stitte wees. Reinhard Reinsberger of Sebastian Lombard wat daar oorgeduik het. Ons sal nou in die kyk weer kyk of ons daar die nommer kan kry. Maar dis of Reinhard Reinsberger of Sebastian Lombard. En Sifiso for the prop forwards to score in that fashion is actually the ultimate. It's the number 3 Sebastian Lombard that dove over the whitewash and he scored his first try of this Easter festival. The
Yes.
score now 15-0 in favour of Paarl Boys High.
And in fact, it has been an incredible game of running rugby. Very entertaining, especially from a quality side like Paarl Boys. It's really, really tough one to swallow for the men from Gauteng. Of course, it is that Golden Lions presidential 15 rather, who are really trying to hold on to this, but it does seem a bridge too far. Even though it's still early, we're still 10 minutes into the game.
Paarl Boys High se loskakel Kian Meaden wat die bal daar tref van die kantlyn af en hy skop hom tussen die palle deur. Die telling dan nou 17-0 vir die manne van Paarl Boys High. Paarl Boys High speel regtig briljante rugby en hulle het regtig waar die vaardighede om 'n span te laat les op sy met elke fout wat hulle maak. En die Leeu's presidensiële span het op die stadium 'n paar belangrike foutjies gemaak. Guerre wat die bal daar afskop, 'n lekker hoë hangskop. Paarl Boys High kry die bal daar en hulle kom vorentoe. Dit lyk my die man is nou reg om die bal rond te gooi, Sifiso.
Yes, of course, and now Paarl Boys do look to exit quickly. Through Kian Meaden, who does loft it right up into the Golden Lions 22-meter area with Guerre again showing some quick feet, but unfortunately is tackled really quickly inside his own 22. And it is Paarl Boys looking to really turn the ball over, but unfortunately they have been penalized, and it is the Lions who have been awarded the penalty. An opportunity now for James Randall at fly half to really find his way out of his own half and into perhaps a more dangerous position.
I must say, Tinashe Guerre is impressing me a lot. He's everywhere and he's doing the best that he can. Even under pressure, he's trying to do the best that he can to move the ball out of his half or whatever. But he's everywhere. We've seen him in 2 lineouts taking the quick throw in. At the back now defending. Sifiso, it's awesome to see a player like that being everywhere and doing the best that he can.
Especially against a side such of the stature of Paarl Boys High, who of course are a really tough side to compete with. And they have competed very well there in that lineout when they've managed to turn that ball over. And it is of course Paarl Boys High who are in the attack as they try to surge forward, as they look to use their big forwards once more. And it's quickly played out very quickly. And it is Paarl Boys High who are coming forward. And it's an interesting run there by Paarl.
Alistair Williams wat daar die bal gevat het. Maar die seuns van Paarl Boys High met 'n skitterende beweging hier. Paarl Boys High wat weer agter die doellyn gaan kuier. 'n Skitterende beweging. Dit was regtig waar goeie vaardighede. Sifiso daar van die span van Paarl Boys High wat die bal deur die hande laat gaan het en daar was 'n ongelooflike, soos wat hulle dit noem, Sunny Bill Williams aangee na die flank toe wat dan die bal weer teruggebring het na die agterspelers toe en die speler van Paarl Boys High wat daar oor die doellyn duik om nog 5 punte vir hulle by te sit. Sal nou kyk wat die nommer daar is. Dit lyk vir soos die nommer 11, JAVIER Farmer wat daar oorgeduik het vir sy eerste 3 van hierdie toernooi. En dit is regtig waar mooi om te sien hoe die seuns die balle rondgooi. Daar slegs 13 minute verby in hierdie eerste helfte Sifiso en Paarl Boys High se telling op 22-0 met Kian Meaden wat regmaak om die skoppale toe waar te neem.
As Meaden looks to step up now and add the extra 2. His cook looks good. He does good. And he has sent it straight through the sticks, and it is, of course, now 24 points to 0 to the boys from Paarl. They have looked really, really impressive so far in this game, really clinical, and they really prove that perhaps they do peak at Super Rugby, as we did see there with a few of Sonny Williams' his offloads. But there's always a man there to receive it, so a bit of some All Blacks rugby there as well. So it was interesting to see, and that kickoff is played by Guerra, and of course, the Lions are fortunate to really pick it up there. And it is Masindi who's eventually tackled out. And it does look as if the Lions do get that scrum put in. And it is going to be an interesting one to see how they fare again against a rather massive Paarl Boys pack there. Who are really been strong and very dominant at the start of inside these first 15 minutes. It's really been an interesting one to see. But I do feel perhaps the Lions do have something in their pocket, perhaps with the likes of Guerra, who can really show the step and perhaps offload it to the inside for someone running in. And it is Guerra who looks to pick up from the back of the line-out. And he does. They play it out wide. The Lions are looking good, but unfortunately it is knocked on. And the referee has awarded the scrum to Paarl Boys High after that knock-on. So that perhaps does kill the momentum of the game with the boys from the Lions always looking to really construct a move, but then of course the ball is knocked on.
Die manne van Boys High wat regtig waar op die stadium die bal aanval op selfs op die verdediging en hulle het mooi opgekom en hulle het die verdediging daar onder druk geplaas, aangeslaan, maar toe die speler van Boys High die bal wil optel, toe het hy hom weer aangeslaan, dis hoekom Boys High nou die scrum voer kan kry. Die bal is uit, dis die heel agter daar, Jacques Rousseau, wat weer die bal teruggee na Vian van der Sand toe, die vleuel Ries du Plessis, wat binnekant toe breek, Vian van der Sand wat die bal uitgee daarna, die flank, en is Kian Meeden, wat die bal daar in die middelveld opvat, bal word skoon gemaak, en het is vinnige besit vir Boys High, bal wat wyd uitgeslinger word, daardeur na die vleuel toe, JAVIER Farmer. Boys High werk regtig waar baie hard om die bal weer terug te kry, maar die Leeuws het hom daar afgeneem, en het is die loskakel James Randall wat hom opskop, maar JAVIER Farmer wat weer die bal daar kry. Boys High gaan hierdie bal verseker hardloop, binnekant toe aftrap van Jacques Rousseau, hy is binnekant deur, maar 'n ongedwonge fout daar deur die span van Paarl Boys High, en die Leeuws wat die bal daar afneem, Guerra wat die bal veld afskop, JAVIER Farmer het weer teruggeval, dit lyk vir my na 'n briljante skop daar deur die skramskakel Tinashe Guerra, bal is uitgeskop, so 5 meter aan die kant die 10 tree stippellyn van Paarl Boys High, en die lynstaan gaan gevoer word deur Alistair Williams van Boys High.
Yes, and of course, Guerra there has been very instrumental in always trying to get the ball out there for the Lions team. But it does look like another poor thrown in line out. But the Lions do manage to retain the ball rather, as they do move forward up the field. It is Guerra who does feed it out quickly to avoid. Oh, it is a beautiful ball, but unfortunately the Lions could not really hold on to the ball. With Snotando there, really struggling to hold on the ball coming from that full-back position. And of course it is Boys High who now look to really construct yet another move, and this is a ball that's flung really wide. And it's like Farmer there. But
interessante beslissing vir my daar, Sifiso, dit het vir my gelyk asof die span van Paarl Boys High die bal teruggevat het in die kwartgebied en hom direk uitgeskop het, en dit beteken dat die lyn staan eintlik by in die kwartgebied van Boys High wees, maar die skeieregters het dit ander geïnterpreteer en die assistent skeieregter gee vir die Leeuws die geleentheid om die bal in te sit. Guerra wat die bal uitgee, die span van die Leeuws wat regtig waar nou punt op die telbord sal wil sit, net om hulle bietjie meer versekering te gee, maar Boys High hou hulle weer eens op, die losgemaal is gevorm, die bal is beskikbaar gelukkig, Tinashe Guerra wat die bal vir die loskakel James Randall gee, hy word oorgeskop, Jacques Rousseau van Paarl Boys High vat die bal skil van sy regtervoet af, en die Leeuws nog steeds in 'n goeie posisie, in 'n goeie veldposisie om te kyk of hulle miskien hulle eerste punt op die telbord kan sit van hierdie St. John's Paasfees rugby toernooi.
yes, of course, Jacques Rousseau there didn't seem to know what to do there. Jacques Rousseau, of course, of Paarl Boys High, didn't know what to do with the ball there, it seemed. and then eventually he skewed it off the side of his boots, and it resulted in a line out. But right now on the field, it does look like the Lions have taken it up, and of course it is the big forward JJ van Zyl who was eventually bundled down, and it does look like the Lions do still have managed to maintain possession of the ball. It does look like a brilliant run there by Pedri Kutsia. And of course the Lions still look very threatening on attack. And it's fed close, and yes, it does look like Albert Schutzer does manage to bounce over the try line and really get something out of the game so far for the Golden Lions Presidential 15. It should be interesting now to see after the conversion how they really react. Paarl Boys, that is, after going down. Albert there, the hooker for the Presidential 15, diving over from close range to make it 24-5.
Sifiso, I don't know if you've seen that, but looks like there was a few changes on the Lions Presidential side. I see that two of the reserves, Stefan Herbst, number 20, and Jonathan Kutsia, came silently onto the field, and that's the two guys that made the difference in scoring that try. The offloads from them was brilliant, and Albert Schutzer was in the right position at the right time. He dove over, and that made it the first points for the Lions Presidential side. The kick is over from James Randall, and the score now 24-7 in the favor of Paarl Boys High. But awesome from the guys from the Lions. They did brilliantly. You will see there in the replay. Number 22 popped up the ball to the hooker, Albert Schutzer, and he crossed the line, and it was 5 points on the score sheet.
Yes, of course, now it is another opportunity for Meaden to really get things underway for Paarl again and really get them back up, maybe scoring more points. But it is the Lions who decide to clear, and it's a brilliant clearance from James Randall, who does get the Lions to a much safer position, with, of course, Paarl now looking to get the throw into the lineouts with Alistair Williams, the one feeding in. It should be an interesting lineout. Paarl have really dominated the lineout and the set pieces, so it should be another routine. And yet again, it is a very routine finish by the men from Paarl, who have really played really well, really able to improvise in tough positions. And it is, of course, Jacques Rousseau with a little shimmy here and there, but he's eventually tackled, and the ball keeps going for the men from Paarl. And there's a powerful run there by Alistair Williams, who's really looks strong with ball in hand and keeps going forward. And it is Paarl Boys who still retain possession, but it does look as if they've knocked it on, although the referee has spotted a different infringement, and of course it is a penalty to Paarl Boys High.
Dit lyk asof die span van die Leeu's ongelukkig daar die bal probeer speel het en die losgemaal, en dit is die loskakel Kian Meaden wat besluit ons gaan nou na die kantlyn toe. Ons gaan kyk of ons nie hierdie bal kan oordryf vir nog 5 punte nie. Paarl Boys High wat konstant druk op die span van die Leeu's sit. Die Leeu's het 'n mooi 3 gedruk, maar dadelik weer van die afskop af het Paarl Boys High hulle onder druk geplaas, en die bal wat ingesit gaan word daar deur Alistair Williams. Hy gaan seker mik vir Evan Rode of Neil Venter. Sal nou daar sien, dit is op die stadium die nommer 7 flank wat hy daar bereik, Ion van der Berg, en die bal wat uitkom, dit is die groot manne daar van Paarl Boys wat deurkom, en hy duik daar oor. Sal nou sien die nommer wat daar op staan, dis nommer 12 wat daar met die bal op staan, Tyler Box wat oorduik daar vir Paarl Boys High se 3, en die telling wat dan nou aanskuif na 29-7 in die guns van Paarl Boys High.
Yes, and that was a brilliant reaction from the men from Paarl, who have really taken it up, and then ended up crossing the whitewash on the other side after just conceding as well. It shows a great sense of urgency from them, really, to bounce back from after just conceding right there. And it was an incredible passage of play as well, with the ball being fed in close for a really good, punishing, powerful run by Tyler Box, who managed to really finish off well in the end and add the extra 5. Of course, Jacques Rousseau now looks to add the extra 2.
Kian Meaden het baie goed geskop tot dusver vandag. Lyk asof hy is, ek sal nou seker maak, Kian Meaden wat lyk asof hy daar aan lê, hy kom vorentoe. Hy tref die bal, hy is tussen die paale deur, nog 2 punte bygevoeg deur Kian Meaden. Sifiso, one thing that I must say, the guys from Paarl Boys High played brilliant rugby in the North-South as well, and they beat the guys from Monash in Krugersdorp by 35 points to 31, and that happened in the injury time at the end of the game. So these guys are playing up until the end of the game, and you need to keep on playing. They're not going to stop. They're going to try as best they can with the most tries that they can get on the board.
No, you can definitely see the type of opposition they're used to. They really play at a very high intensity, and they keep it going throughout, and it doesn't seem like they're going to stop now, even though we can see there's a few moments left in this first half. Of course, Paarl Boys High do lead 31 points to 7 against the Golden Lions Presidential 15, and of course it is Guerra there who collects after the ball was dipped straight into his 22, and he's got a lovely step there, and of course he is tackled in his own 22-meter area. It is the Lions who still keep possession. They do look to move forward, as it looks quite messy in terms of the Paarl Boys defense, but the men from Paarl just keep making the great tackles. They really are keeping the Lions at bay, but the Lions are eventually awarded a penalty, and it's another opportunity for them to really move up the pitch once more.
They did very well there with the defense, Sufficient. One thing that you can give the guys from the Lions, they have been tackling for a long time in this game, and if we could actually have the stats, we will be able to see that they have been defending and they had to put in most of the tackles, but they keep on doing that. The line breaks from the Paarl Boys team is actually in such a good nick at this moment that they can play you from any part of the field, but the Lions team isn't giving up at this moment, so they can just keep on playing their game. They're in the half of Paarl Boys High, and they just need to focus on what they need to do. Keep ball in hand, go through the phases, and I can promise you, with any team, if you can put up all the phases, there must be some openings in the lines that will come, and you can just go straight through and put some points on the board as they did previously.
Yes, of course, and the Lions do need to eventually attack, because of course you can't defend all game, because the bodies also take quite a bruising, and you do need a bit of rest, and you only can get the rest sort of in a bit by actually having the ball in hand and actually attacking, rather than always having to make those tackles. And it does look like the Lions right now are sitting just inside the Paarl Boys halfway line, so it should be interesting to see what sort of move forms up here, even though the Paarl Boys lineouts have been impressive throughout so far. And of course the pause in play at the moment is due to a bit of an injury from a Paarl Boys player who is currently getting medical assistance, but the game is back underway, of course, and it is not the best of lineouts from the Golden Lions Presidential 15, and the ball is eventually thrown forward and on the wrong side, but of course it does look as if it is a scrum for Boys High. It should be another dominant scrum for Boys High in this perspective, because we can see the size difference in the two packs, of course, with Paarl Boys of course being far too superior at the moment. And it is a put in there for Paarl Boys High. Van van der Walt does feed it off well. Looks like a good collection there, but was fumbled, but it is Boys High who retain possession again. And they do look, oh, what a lovely pass there to the outside. It's a brilliant run by Cameron. Oh, it looks like Snatando does take it up for the Lions after they did it. And it's a beautiful step through. It's looking interesting, but unfortunately, he does stay on his feet, but eventually loses the ball by knocking it on. And it is Paarl Boys High who managed to take possession up to their stride. That's looking really good. It looks like a little box kick there from Vian, but the ref goes back for an infringement that happened a few moments ago. Paarl Boys are awarded the penalty in a fairly kickable area, but perhaps they will look to add the points looking at the time, but no. Kian Meaden is opting to go for touch, and he finds touch just inside the 22 meters, just outside in fact, the 22-meter area of the Golden Lions Presidential 15. The put-in is expected to be collected for the boys from Paarl. And it's a lovely throw. It's collected very well at the back. It's an incredible 6-ball, and there's a drive. Very powerful one at that. As the Lions are really struggling to really keep the boys from Paarl at bay. But the ball does eventually end up a touch. So perhaps it was a decent defensive move from the Lions, although they were completely being demolished there in that maul.
Paarl boys wat weer eens op die aanval is, maar die Leeu's wat die bal kan insit daar. Die hakker, ons dink op die stadium dat daar mag miskien hier en daar 'n foutjie op die spanlyste wees wat ons het, maar dit lyk vir my soos Albert Skutte wat die bal daar ingooi, maar Paarl boys neem die bal af en Paarl boys beweeg daar vorentoe en hulle duik oor. Dit is Paarl boys wat daar nog 5 punte op die tellbord sit. Ek sal nou die nommer daar kry. Die Paarl boys span wat vir die soveelste keer oor die doellyn duik en die telling wat dan aangroei na 36-7 na 29 minute in die eerste helfte. Sifiso, it was quite easy for the guys. Neil Venter that dove over there for the try for Paarl boys, and I must say it looked quite easy for the guys from Paarl boys to get over the whitewash to score another try against the guys from the line. And it was a Lion presidential side throw-in at the line out. So they took control of it and they made sure that they scored another 5-pointer. And it's Kian Meaden that's getting ready for the kick at goal.
Kian Meaden lines it up and looks to collect the extra 2, and he does very well, converts and adds the extra 2, and the hooter does eventually sound, and it is officially half time here between Paarl boys and the Golden Lions Presidential 15. It is Paarl boys who currently enjoy the better of the game, of course leading 38 points to 7. It was indeed almost a one-sided game. And if we look back at that replay, it was a beautiful move there by Paarl boys, who were able to really adapt to the situation. Of course, with the line-out not going their way, of course, in the first time, with the puts-in originally being awarded to the Presidential 15 of the Lions, but they did manage to convert that into a brilliant 7 points to end off the half well. And of course, it's been almost pretty one-sided, but an incredible half of rugby. We do expect a lot more in that second half.
Manne van Paarl boys wat 38-7 voorloop in die kragmeting by die St. John's Paasfees rugby toernooi. Hulle het regtig waar, dit is 'n baie eensidedige wedstryd op die stadium, maar die manne van die presidensiële 15-tal dink ek sal nou by mekaar kom en seker maak dat hulle 'n oplossing kry en bietjie meer die bal in besit sal hou, want dit is 'n groot probleem op hierdie stadium. Maar ons is terug binnekort vir die tweede helfte tussen die kragmeting Paarl boys en die Leeu's presidentiële 15-tal.
Evolve with the next generation Galaxy on SA's best mobile network. Get the new Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus for only $899 per month on a 24-month MTN Made For Me S contract. You get 20 gigs free data plus 2 gigs every month for 12 months. We got you. Sign up for upgrade at an MTN store today. Everywhere you go, MTN.
I'm Kagiso Rabada. This is the Standard Bank Forex Speed Track Challenge.
Standard Bank has asked the Proteas to help them demonstrate the incredible speed of the Shift Forex trading app.
Our customers are shopping on their phones. They're booking their travel on their phones. It made absolute sense to bring foreign exchange to their phones.
Kagiso will step onto the pressure sensor at the crease. This will trigger the trade on the Standard Bank Shift app. May the fastest win. It's confirmed. The Standard Bank Shift app lets you trade at speeds equal to that of South Africa's fastest bowlers. Because Standard Bank knows when it comes to Forex, time isn't money, speed is. Download Shift from the App Store and start trading right now.
Why choose supersonic fiber? Life is complicated, but getting fiber shouldn't be. Supersonic fiber is the simplest connection you will ever make. Signing up is easy. Our 5-step application process is not only free, but will also give you the exact speed required to ensure your family can browse, stream, game, and work with ease. Essentially, it's Internet U.0, designed around you and aimed at making your fiber experience hassle-free. Our on-site stream team will install your free Wi-Fi enabled router and connect all your devices to ensure that you are 100% up and running. They will also conduct a free Wi-Fi coverage assessment before leaving your home to ensure that your home has 100% coverage. The Supersonic app provides you with full control so that you can manage your account and create a package that suits you, giving you the freedom and control to upgrade or downgrade as and when you want. Our smart Wi-Fi app, powered by Plume, offers you 100% control of your Wi-Fi ecosystem. Kids spending too much time online? Limit their access. Granny needs to get on Facebook? Give her instant access. We give you total control of your entire home from anywhere and at any time of the day in the palm of your hand. All with no contracts, no nonsense, just internet. Go ahead, sign up today. It's the simplest, smartest connection you will ever make. Visit supersonic.co.za.
The referee was looking as called both sides to the second half, which is about to start. Paarl Boys High leading the Golden Lions Presidential 15 by 38 points to 7.
Welkom terug vir die tweede helfte hier by die St. John's Paasfees rugby toernooi en Paarl Boys High wat dan die voortou geneem het 38-7 hier met halftyd en dit is dan Kian Meaden wat regmaak om af te skop. Sufisio, as we said just before, Paarl Boys High is in full control of this match. I'm looking forward to the next half of this game to see if the Lions can bring it back.
Yes, of course, they're going to be looking to really dig deep in this half after some instructions from their coaching staff, definitely there. And it does look like the ball has been knocked on there by the Lions. And there's another advantage there to Paarl Boys, who now have a scrum just outside the 22-meter area of the Presidential Lions. And of course, that dominant pack will look to really get one foot over the Lions once more.
Sufisio, ons moet net vir die mense regstellingkie maak. Daar was 'n paar veranderingkies op die spanlyste wat ons mee gewerk het. Reus Du Plessis die heel agter van Paarl Boys wat briljante rugby speel en Rikus Jonk wat baie sterk gehardloop het 'n hele paar keer in die eerste helfte. En dan ook moet ek die krediet gee vir Neil Venter wat dan die 3 gedruk het daar aan die einde van die eerste helfte. So daar was 'n paar veranderingkies en ons sal dit regstel wat ons aangaan hierdie middag. Maar ek sien Paarl Boys het al reeds 'n paar veranderinge ook opgebring. Ek sien Jacques Rousseau het nou uiteindelik op die veld gekom, nommer 22. En ons sal nou sien in wie se plek hy is. Dit lyk vir my asof ons met 'n oop gemoed kan sê dat die heel agter Reus Du Plessis die veld verlaat het. En nommer 23 is ook op in die plek van die nommer 14 vleuel Rikus Jonk. En dit is Angelo Osh wat dan ook op die veld verskyn het na halftyd vir Paarl Boys High.
Yeah, no, it does look like an interesting one so far, and it does look like Paarl are on the attack once more, and they do take it up very well. And it does look like that man, Quinn Horn, has broken the line and scored right next to the uprights. And it does look like a brilliant one for the boys from Paarl, who have added to their lead once more. It does look like they are not going to be stopped here.
Sifiso, you can see that that was a practiced move. He straightened the line. The gap was there, and he went straight through, and he went through under the sticks. And the guys from Paarl Boys High is just putting down the foot on the pedal, and they're just cruising right along in this game. You can see it in the action replay. Quinn Horn straightening the line, and he goes over just right next to the upright, the left-hand upright. Kian Meaden put the kick over, and the score now 45-7 in the favor of Paarl Boys High.
Yes, of course, and it is Paarl still very much in control of this game, and of course we are just under 3 minutes into the second half, and it is Gawere who looks to really get things underway again for the Golden Lions Presidential 15, and it is suddenly hoisted in the air.
So there's one rule that I'm actually looking at what the referees is not blowing in such a way as it should be, and that's from the kickoffs, the player that is in front. But Paarl Boys High decided that this is the way to go. They ran straight out of the 22-meter area, quick ball, quick retention, and the guys from Paarl Boys High is driven over the line out there, over the line, and it will be a Lions Presidential 15, and they're putting it quickly again. They know that they have problems in the line-outs, and the Paarl Boys High is going to run with this. They're not going to stop, and it's JAVIER Farmer, and he offloads to the player on the inside. Vian van der Sand ducked the ball out there. The big forwards is coming through. They're bashing it up. Kian Meaden, and then the number 12 went through the tackle, and he passed it to number 23, Angelo Osh. But it looks like it was back. You can see the guys from Paarl Boys High know how to do the ball retention. And then it's the hooker, Alistair Williams, going over there. And he's still struggling with the ball. But it looks like the guys from the Lions are up there. But Paarl Boys High still has the ball intact. And it looks like they held on to the ball too long. The number 11 there from the Lions Presidential side, Jandre Pretorius, came and he tried to take the ball, and the guys from Paarl Boys High held on to the ball, and it's a penalty, and Tinashe Guwere can actually get some relief for his team.
Fraser, you can really notice the difference in both sets of players, especially when you look at the way the players have been conditioned, their style of play as well. You can see the Paarl boys have really been drilled. It's been really drilled into them because they're really performing, executing whatever moves that they've perhaps been running through at on the practice ground really well here, and opening up the spaces as well, and not really committing too much as well in defense.
You have spoken about the game against Paul Roos Gymnasium, that the guys from Paarl Boys High need to look out for, and you talked about the game against Grey College Bloemfontein. But I must say there's one fixture that the guys from Paarl Boys High are licking their lips, and that's the one against Paarl Gymnasium. And I think that this is what they are preparing. This is what this festival is all about for them, trying to get them in a perspective of committing to that big game. It's a derby in their town, Paarl Gym versus Paarl Boys High. And you can see the defense from the Paarl Boys High guys is awesome. And you can see that the communication on the field is of top standard.
Immense. That derby is indeed one of the biggest derbies actually in schoolboy rugby in South Africa at the moment. It almost shuts down the town of Stellenbosch. It's an incredible one to watch.
Die skeieregter wat daar Paarl Boys High straf vir binnekant toe skram en op, en die spelers van Paarl Boys High wat bietjie daar met die skeieregter praat, maar die skeieregter se beslissing is finaal, en dit is Tinashe Guwere van die Lions Presidential span wat die bal vat en hy skop hom uit. It's my kenmerkend Sifiso that the guys from the Lions Presidential side, they don't actually want to compete in a line out, so that's why they're doing the quick throw-ins. But from a penalty, you need to actually kick it out and then have a proper line out, and I would love to see if the guys from Paarl Boys High will compete in this line out.
And of course, you should always, anyway, play to your strengths. And of course, they can see in this game it's definitely not one of theirs because Boys High, of course, are on top of them in terms of the line-outs department. And of course, once more the ball is turned over, and it is Boys High who are now in possession of the ball. They do move in really quickly through their backs, and it does look a bit of, oh, it's a beautiful tackle there, an incredible one there by Sean Matsane, who does defend well against his opposite number. And it is quickly played by Vian, who plays it out wide into that midfield area. Does look like
Dit wil vir my voorkom asof daar nog 'n speler, 'n plaasvervanger op is. En Paarl Boys wat hier baie sterk hardloop. Hy's nie vasgevat nie, maar hy's nou op die stadium daar. Ek dink hy gaan miskien gestraf word vir die bal op die grond vashou. Vian van der Sand wat die bal daar gaan uithaal. Hy grou en dit lyk asof die leeu's daar deurgekom het en dit vir hulle baie moeilik maak. Paarl Boys wat die bal besit amper daar weggegee het, maar die bal kom op die einde van die dag uit. En Paarl Boys met hulle voorspelers wat weer daar vorentoe beer. Vian van der Sand wat weer eens daar probeer om die bal uit te kry, maar dit is afgeneem deur die leeu's. En Paarl Boys wat ongelukkig die bal daar verloor. En dit is Tinashe Guerre wat daar deurbreek, so aan die kortkant, baie goed gedoen. Maar Paarl Boys is onkant, hy van die verkeerde kant af inkom. Hy moes eers van agteraf inkom voordat hy die bal kan speel. Maar die leeu's het baie goed gedoen om daardie omgekeerde besit te kry. Brilliant from the guys from the Lions, taking the ball in that setup from the Paarl Boys team. I don't think they actually secured the ball good enough there on the ground, the team from Paarl Boys.
No, definitely, but it was also a terrible clearance there from the Lions, and it does look like Paarl again have possession, but they look like they're really securing the ball, and they've played it short, and it is going back to their forwards again, right up there in the midfield area, as they look to really inflict more damage, as the Lions defender has shot up pretty quickly, and of course it is a Jade Hendricks who crosses over under the sticks, and it's a beautiful one for Paarl Boys High.
Sufficient if you look at what Tyler Box did there. He picked up the ball. The Lions were standing around. Actually, they should have gone and tackled him, but they were standing around giving him some time to move it. The minute that they came up in the defense, they opened up the gap, and he just popped it over into Jade Hendricks' hands, and he scored under the sticks.
Fraser, I also saw a man there from the Lions also shoot up very quickly in defense, and he actually exposed that bit of space, which of course Paarl Boys High have been exploiting all day today, and that was another routine finish for them. And of course, Kian Midden does step up once more, and he slots it through the uprights, and it is Paarl Boys High 52 points to 7 against the Golden Lions Presidential 15. It's definitely a one-way traffic still. It's maintained to stay that way.
Ek sien nou dat Karl Schleur van die leeu's op die stadium van die veld afgekom het. Hy het 'n sny onder sy regteroog en ons gaan nou sien wie hom vervang daar op die veld. Maar die leeu'span veg manhaftig op die stadium. Na 10 minute is die telling 52-7 in die guns van Paarl Boys High, en dit is regtig waar indrukwekkend hoe hierdie seuns van Paarl Boys High net aanhou rugby speel. Dit is asof hulle glad nie stop nie. They just keep on playing and they put on the pressure the whole time. And I must say, I'm looking forward to the game. I think the final game on the third day, Sifiso, is the Paarl Boys High versus Hoërskool Nelspruit game. And I think the guys from Nelspruit will have a little bit of a look at this game and see if they can get something out of it to stop this mighty team from the Cape.
Eventually, I definitely agree with that. Nelspruit will definitely have to defend a lot better, and unfortunately, Paarl Boys have struggled there to really defend their lines with Stas Nel, who's dropped the ball into touch, and of course it is a line out now for the Presidential 15 with Albert Schutt putting in, and it is a quick one from JJ van Zyl, who picks up but is eventually tackled, and it's down with Guerre, unfortunately not getting the support he requires from his forwards, and it is Paarl Boys who really get the possession again, but the referee sees an infringement there, and it is a scrum rather, for the men in red. And of course, we see some new subs coming on for Paarl Boys High. Of course, they're going to bring the fresh legs, especially in that engine room area of that scrum. Of course, giving the backs much clearer ball. Already the boys have played so fantastically well so far, and it definitely continues now.
Tyler Box wat die veld hier verlaat is. En nou sien wie het hom vervang en hier kom nog twee van die manne. Het lyk vir my soos Kian Meeden wat ook van die veld af is en dan die nommer 3 stit wat dan af is daar. Maar daar is 'n hele klompie manne wat nou weer op die veld verskyn. Nommer 18 is ook weer af. DM Hols was op. Maar die Leeu's het die bal in besit en die bal word uitgeslinger daar na die oorkant. Paarl Boys High sal nou 'n keer moet ken, maar dit lyk asof hulle daar 'n losgemaal staan gemaak het. Maar dit lyk asof hulle onkant was. Die Leeu's wat nog 'n geleentheid daar het, so the guys from the Lions, they will keep on trying the best. The guys from Paarl Boys High is defending very well, but Tinashe Guerre gave the ball out there to number 20, Stefan Herbst. Guerre again, number 3, Pedri Kutsia, and then number 1, JJ van Zyl taking up the ball. And the guys from Paarl Boys High is not over the ball quite yet. And the Lions Presidential side is still going forward. JJ van Zyl taking up the ball there. They're not allowed to take the ball there. The tactics, they must move away. Guerre gives it to Albert Skitter. That goes in there. He scored the first try for the Lions Presidential side. They're still moving forward there, and it looks like the 8th man. And he was held up, Ruan Labuskaghni that went there, but there was some advantage from the referee, and it looks like that it was a high tackle from Paarl Boys High. And Guerre's got the ball in hand. I don't think they're going to go for the line. I think they're going to tap and play, and that is in the spirit of this specific festival. Looks like they're calling for a scrum, and I don't think it's the right decision, but luckily in the commentator's curse that could work for them. But taking a scrum with the huge pack of Paarl Boys High, I don't know. I hope it will work out for them.
Maybe I think they're trying to feed it very quickly and try. Maybe Guerre gets it out quickly to the backs. Perhaps that's what they'll be looking to. It will perhaps be a better option than, of course, that line out, which they've really struggled with so far. And perhaps as well, if you look at them, maybe going for that tap and go wouldn't have been the better choice as well, considering the size of the forwards of Boys High. Maybe they saw that they'd be taken back quite a bit. So it'll be interesting to see now. Perhaps the commentator's curse will work for them.
So that's how it works. I hope that they can score from here, because they tried their best the whole game.
They have.
And we're halfway in the second half, and there you can see the guys from Paarl Boys are demolishing him. But they're getting a penalty again. They're cutting, and now Guerre is taking the quick tap, and it looks like Albert Skitter that took the ball in there. Guerre still got the ball. And it's the 8th man, Ruan Labuskaghni, that's going forward, but he's been tackled back by the guys from Paarl Boys High. Still, Guerre got the ball. The fly off there, James Randall, and again, the defense from Paarl Boys High is awesome. They're driving the guys from the Lions back. They've turned over the ball, and they kick it downfield. There's no one at the back, and it's been kicked out. I think there would have been problems for the Lions side if they actually, but again they take the quick throw in, and it was kicked over by Guerre, and again kicked over by the guys from Paarl Boys. So it's a brilliant kick. They're looking for territory now and trying to get into the game, but still the lead for Paarl Boys High 52-7, and I see most of the reserves are on the field now. Kian Meeden is still on the field, but it looks like there's someone coming onto the field now. It's number 18, and it's David Shell that's coming onto the field, looks like, for number 3, Pedri Kutsia. So it's David Shell on for Pedri Kutsia. The ball is fed out quickly to the guys from the Lions, and they lost the ball again there, and now Boys High is going up there. They're working it forward. The Boys High team, they took the ball. It was a bit of a hospital pass over there. Boys High still in control. The pass is going out. Bok at the back, and Horn, and it's number 23, Angelo Osh, that dives over for his first try in this St. John's Easter Festival, picking the score up to 57-7. Sifiso, this is getting, scoring-wise, definitely a one-sided match. But if you look at the game taking place at this stage, the Lions are doing a lot of good things, but they just can't convert it into points.
I really feel, to be fair to the Golden Lions Presidential 15 as well, is that they're a side that's assembled a few weeks before, whereas you look at Paarl are a well-oiled machine. They've played with each other throughout the ranks, maybe through age group, and now it's the ultimate year. Some guys, it's their final year of school, so they'll really want to impress and then obviously go on and hopefully sign for some good unions out there and perhaps take rugby and become professional rugby players that we'll one day watch on our screens. But it has been a good effort from the Golden Lions as well. They've really showed those good signs, especially when they've got going with the ball in hand. We've got some guys with some neat steps, and it does look like that kick was neat for Paarl boys. An incredible one that adds that extra two. The score now shifts to 59 points to 7 to the men from Paarl.
It's a good point that you make there from the guys from the Lions. They are assembled just 2 or 3 weeks before this festival, but you can see that the skill is there, and if they play together for a longer time, you will actually get them to get where they need to go. The player was in front of the kick, and the referee told him to stay back, and he did that, so he put him in an onside position, and the player from Paarl Boys High kicked it, and it's the 8th man, Ruan Labuskaghni, and he was hit hard, and the Lions retains the ball, and they keep on going forward. Number 19 is on the field, Triton Bruggens. They keep on playing in this game. Brilliant, put his player into the gap, but Paarl Boys High, the player there was offside. I think it was Tyler Box that's offside. He tried to steal the ball over there, but he was in an offside position, and it is James Randall that's going to take the ball and put them in a better position.
And again, the Lions there have failed through the boots of James Randall, who fails yet again to find touch, and it is Paarl Boys who again have possession of the ball as they move it quickly, using those forwards to really punish that defense of the Lions, and it's quickly played out wide, and it does look as if it's a great pickup there. It's great interplay there. That does look like it's been offloaded. The ball is moving really quickly around, and it is Paarl Boys who do maintain that possession very well. Great retention of the ball that they've shown throughout this game in most parts of it, but a little bit of a loss of concentration there by their number 10, Kian Midden, who does drop the ball, but Paarl do survive yet again to keep hold of the ball, and it does look like it is a break of the line.
Kian
And it
Barnard
is
het
a
op die
try.
veld verskyn. Kian Barnard wat in die skramskakelposisie daar opgedaag het, en Paarl Boys High wat oorgaan vir hulle volgende 3. Ek sal nou die nommer daar kry. Ons was op die stadium net gegaan, moes ek vir kyk. Stas Nel, jy kan sien dat dit die kaptein van die span is, hy het van die plaasvervangersbank af opgekom vandag, en Stas Nel wat dan oorgaan daar vir sy eerste 3 in hierdie toernooi. Dit is die St. John's Paasfees rugby toernooi hier in Johannesburg in Upper Houghton, en ons wil net sê dat Paarl Boys High, soos alreeds deur Sifiso gesê is, 'n goed geoliede masjien, en daar's nog 10 minute oor. Kian Midden wat regmaak om hierdie doelskop waar te neem. Hy kom vorentoe, hy tref hom, hy's tussen die palle deur, en die telling skuif dan nou aan na 66 punte teenoor 7. Like I said on the scoreboard, Sifiso, it's a one-sided game. But if you look at the game, you will see that the guys from the Lions keep on trying, and they have good interplay. But it's just that final touches, that final pass, or that putting the player in the gap in the final moment. That's the biggest thing that they can't get together, and that is, with practice, that will actually get better.
Definitely, the chemistry there is needed for the boys to really move the ball well, but the chemistry on the side of Boys High has looked really great so far in this game, as they still lead. Now the score is, of course, 66 points to 7, with the boys from Paarl in full control, and it's Guerra again showing some quick steps, and it is Snotando who unfortunately loses the ball, and it's Paarl who really pick it up really quickly through Sebastian Lombard, who eventually loses out, but it does look like the ball was knocked on.
Stas snel wat daar bietjie nadat die fluitjie geblaas het, nog die speler daarso op die grond neerwoel, maar die skeieregter wat sê dat die bal aangeslaan is daardeur Paarl Boys High en die Leeu's het die geleentheid om die bal in te sit. Die Leeu's se skram was die heel middag nog onder druk. They were under a lot of pressure and I hope that they can get a good ball just to see that the skills that they have, that they can just present it to the crowd that's been streaming in for the St. John's Easter Festival Rugby. And I must say, everybody that has been here can see that schoolboy rugby in South Africa is very healthy, and I think we can look back at a lot of festivals that took place during the holidays and see that schoolboy rugby in South Africa is in peak condition. And I hope that most of these guys can actually go to the top ranks to see if they can actually make it at the top level.
And yes, of course, it will be the Lions who will look to finish really strong as they look to surge up the field now once more.
Hulle kom weer van die kant af daar. Paarl Boys gaan van die kant af en van hulle voet af. Dadelik is hulle gee hulle die geleentheid vir die Leeu's se presidensiële span om die bal na die oorkant van die veld toe uit te skop om 'n lyn staan daar te vorm. Dit sal vir my regtig waar lekker wees as mense kan sien. Maar weer eens 'n fout van die Leeu's. Sifiso, hulle skop nie die bal uit nie. En dit lyk vir my nou asof die tyd in die agtergrond aangedui word dat dit is verby. Die skeieregter wat die eindfluitjie daar blaas. Die telling 66-7 in die guns van Paarl Boys High. Sifiso, to sum up, the guys from the Lions gave their best, but in the end, the guys from Paarl Boys High is just a well-conditioned, well-oiled machine. And you can see that they've been playing together for a long time, and they just played the better rugby at the end of this day.
I definitely enjoyed that display shown there by Paarl Boys High. A very powerful, assertive display of rugby. Really interesting to watch. It will be really great to see them when they come up against an opponent, that is of sort of their same level. It would be a great real match, especially when they end up playing the likes of your great colleges and your Paarl Boys High. It's going to be an interesting fixture, but of course those fixtures for today are not done quite as yet. The next game that we do have here at the St. John's Easter Rugby Festival in Houghton, we do have St. Charles College taking on Daniel Pienaar. It's been a fantastic day, but the day does not end here. Fraser, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sifiso. That's the game from Paarl Boys High and the Presidential Lions 66-7 in the favour of Paarl Boys High. Brilliant game. We're looking forward to the rest of the festival. There's a few games still left for today. Congratulations to Paarl Boys High, and we're looking forward to the rest of the fixtures for the St. John's Easter School Festival Rugby that is taking place in Johannesburg.